here it is. How do you know when you're working too much? How do you know when you're working too much? I don't know who it was that said, if you love your work, you'll never work a day in your life. If you love your work, you'll never work a day in your life. And think about that. If you love what you're doing, and really that's the way it ought to be, right? If you love what you're doing and you're operating in your gift set, you're good at what you're doing, and you work with people that you like, and you get to serve people in your work that you want to serve for some really good reason and some higher purpose to it, then work can be really, really fulfilling. Really, really fulfilling. But like anything else that's good, we can overindulge, right? So let me just give you a few diagnostic questions here. I don't believe that this is necessarily a quantitative question only. In other words, it's not like you work only too much. What basically happens in the problematic scenarios is that for whatever reason is driving it, and it could be good reasons, like I just said, you love your work, or it could be bad reasons that it's driven by fear. Some people have, for example, some irrational financial anxieties. What I mean by irrational is because, some people have to work more than is good because they literally have real financial issues in that season of life that they have to take care of. And yeah, you're working too much. There are reasons why we work too much for a season. The question is it a season or is it a pattern that's unsustainable? And sometimes people, they're just they have really irrational financial concerns, or they're feeding addictions by work. The work isn't the addiction, but buying 4 new cars is the addiction, or retail therapy is the addiction. And then you got to work to pay all that stuff off. So, first of all, there can be positive or negative reasons that drive you into too much work. All right. But irregardless, here is the problem. The problem is, what am I not doing when I'm working too much? What am I not doing? See, life is a lot of different parts, right? You have a lot of different stakeholders in your life. One of the stakeholders is you. One of them may be your marriage, or if you're single, your closest support system and family. I think every single person ought to have an immediate family besides your biological family. Your spiritual family are the people you're closest to, your small group that I hope meets every week, or another group of friends that has a dedicated every Wednesday night. We do dinner together. I know when I was single, I didn't get married until well into my 30s. And my adopted family, when I moved to California, a family adopted me as a graduate student. And in fact, I'll be with them. We spend every holiday together. And we had something we call Wednesday night family night. And it was their family and me. And we did that for, even after I got married, Tori started joining us. We did that for, I would have to do the math, but oh my gosh, easy. 20 years, every Wednesday night. So if you're single, just because you're not married doesn't mean you don't have a family. Okay, and you have to build that. Very, very important. So is your work crowding out the things that you need in your life besides work, your community, your spiritual life, your hobbies? One of the things I had to do because my work could expand. And obviously, if you're a clinician, especially when I was in clinical practice, one of the most important things I had to do was I had so my hobby is golf, right? I had a regular game set up at a certain time, Wednesday, 1 o'clock, and I'm going to be there with the same group. And then on Saturday, I did it again and managed to work in a few here and there. But those weren't moving. Okay. Same thing with my small group. It wasn't moving. It was a structure. So what happens is work begins to creep over into these other areas, and it takes away from the things that feed your soul. Work can only feed your, even if you like it. I mean, you might like Brussels sprouts and they feed you, but you need some fruits too, and you need some other vegetables besides that. And you need a big slab of spare ribs sometime, right? You got to have a balanced diet. And so, really, the problem with overwork, and you can tell how much you're overworked, is what is not getting the attention that it should be getting. So, that could be you as a stakeholder, it could be your kids, it could be your spiritual life, it could be your professional development. Are you working all the time and not studying about your work and increasing your skills, increasing your intellectual horsepower? How many books a week are you reading? How many workshops have you gone to this year? You and your spouse, how many overnight getaways have you had? Doesn't have to be expensive. Go to Motel 6, but get away. Get away. Lots of different stuff. Lots of different development. So the answer to how am I working too much? Same thing is if you're drinking too much or you're eating too much, it's because you're not paying attention to something else. And that's a good diagnosis.